Let's talk about a question that is haunting millions of people right now. Why are you still broke? I mean, you followed the playbook, right? You did everything you were supposed to do, but for some reason, the math just isn't mathing.
You really did. You went to college, you took on all that debt, you got the good job that required the degree. You're doing everything society told you would lead to success. And yet, there's that feeling, isn't there? That constant humming anxiety in the back of your mind. The feeling that you're just one flat tire or one emergency vet visit away from total disaster. This isn't what they promised. You know, the problem really starts with the script itself. We were all handed the exact same one. It was this simple, really attractive promise of what the good life looks like, and a supposedly easy-to-follow map on how to get there.
It seems so straightforward, doesn't it? Just 4 easy steps. It was sold to us as this foolproof formula, a guaranteed path to success. But here's the thing. The game has completely changed, but the advice hasn't. And now, pretty much every single step on this path is actually riddled with hidden traps.
Does this sound familiar? I bet it does. This was the pitch, right? From guidance counselors, our parents, basically all of society. This idea that a college degree was a golden ticket, and that the mountain of debt was just, a normal entry fee. But that advice was based on an economy that just doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's look at exactly how this script fails in the real world. Every single part of that plan now has a hidden cost, a financial trap, that's pretty much designed to pull wealth away from you before you even get a chance to build it. And it all starts with that so-called investment in your future.
$1.75 trillion. That's the total student loan debt here in America. To put that in perspective, that is larger than the entire economy of Australia. It's not just some abstract number, it's a massive anchor tied to an entire generation. It's the first huge crack in the foundation of that old success script. So let's take that giant trillion-dollar number and make it personal. Meet Alex. She's got a degree, she's got a decent job, but look at this. After her student loan payment, which is more than her car and food combined, and just her basic living costs, she has less than $500 left over. That's it. That's for everything else. Emergencies, savings, trying to have any kind of life. The extra money she's supposed to be making from her degree gets eaten up by debt before she ever sees it. And here is the absolutely brutal bottom line. For nearly 1 out of every 3 students, college isn't an investment at all. It's a financial loss. They're literally worse off financially than if they had just started working right out of high school. The script didn't just fail them, it actively made them poorer. So what about that next big step? Buying a house. Well, this chart says it all. Back in 1970, the average home cost about 2.5 times what the average family earned in a year. Today, it's 7 times. The math just doesn't work. The goalpost hasn't just moved, it's playing in a completely different solar system.
And just to try and keep up, to even attempt to afford that house, families walked right into something called the 2-income trap. It sounds like you'd be safer with 2 people working, right? But it's actually the opposite. It makes you more fragile, because now both paychecks are completely spoken for just to cover the basics. There's no safety net. If one person loses their job, the whole house of cards comes tumbling down.
And in this high-pressure, razor-thin margin world we live in, a whole new kind of trap has popped up to take advantage. 41%. That's the percentage of people using those buy now, pay later services who've missed a payment. It's just debt dressed up as a convenient lifestyle hack, making us feel like we can afford things when we're really just digging ourselves into a deeper and deeper hole.
I mean, just stop and think about how absurd this is for a second. We have completely normalized going into debt for a meal that will be gone before the first payment is even due. That's not convenience. It's a symptom of a broken system, where even the smallest daily pleasures feel like they're out of reach unless we borrow from our future selves. Okay, so the old rules are broken. They don't work. But understanding the traps is the first step to avoiding them. So now, let's pivot. Let's talk about the actual physics of building wealth, the part of the game that really works if you just learn how to play it. This is the part nobody ever warns you about. The beginning feels impossible. You're saving your money, you're investing, and you look at your account and the number is barely moving. It's supposed to feel that way. Because right now, in this phase, you are doing 100% of the heavy lifting. But look what happens if you just stick with it. Getting to that first $100,000 is an absolute grind. It could take 8 years. But the next 100K? That only takes 5. And the next 200K after that? Just 4. The timeline shrinks because that boulder you were pushing, it's starting to roll downhill on its own. That's compound interest becoming a real, tangible force. This chart right here, this is what those first 8 years look like. See that giant bar? That's you. That's all the money you're manually shoveling into the account. And that tiny little sliver next to it, that's the market growth. It's almost invisible. This is the stage where almost everyone gets discouraged and quits because it feels like nothing's happening. But if you don't quit, this is what happens next. You hit this magical crossover point where the growth from the market, your investment returns, starts to absolutely dwarf what you can save from your paycheck. Your money is now officially working harder than you are. That is the snowball. That is the entire game. So, if the old script is broken and we know the real game is all about building that snowball, how do you actually do it? Well, it's going to take a completely new playbook. See, the old script was all about status, the fancy degree, the important job title, the big house. The new playbook is about one thing: systems. It's not about relying on willpower, which always fails. It's about relying on automation. It's not about locking in both of your incomes to pay for stuff. It's about learning to live on one so the other can go to work building your snowball. So let's get practical. What does this new playbook actually look like? Rule number 1, automate everything. The second you get paid, a chunk of that money needs to go directly to your investments before you can even think about touching it. It takes willpower out of the game. 2, you have to avoid lifestyle inflation. This is the silent killer. It's that natural urge to spend more money just because you're making more money. You get a raise? Awesome. That extra cash now belongs to your future self, not to a new car payment. 3, and this is the ultimate hack if you can do it, live on one income. If you're in a dual income household, structure your entire life, your mortgage, your bills, everything, around one person's salary. The entire second salary then goes directly to building wealth. And 4, the hardest one of all, be patient. The math is cold and unemotional. It doesn't care if you're bored or antsy. It will work. You just have to give it time. And this, right here, this really gets to the heart of it all. The real challenge isn't the math. It's the psychology. It's staring at a pile of money in your account. Money that could buy that car, or pay for that vacation, or just make life easier right now, and choosing to leave it alone. Resisting that urge is how you win the long game. So that's where we land. The old path to success is a minefield. The real path, the one that actually works, is slow. It's boring. It's a lot less glamorous. It's not about flashy wins. It's about surviving the grind. So the real question you have to ask yourself is this: are you patient enough to ignore all the noise and just let the math do its work?